Sure, it'll be fine. This looks like the right way.
Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few Crystarium civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. Ooh, backstory. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetherite, a convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should in theory be able to reach all the way back along your aetheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. Guess what I didn't do?
I mean, it didn't let us.
After you have done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetherite and head out to the left to arrive in the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find a collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokesman, Catless, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him and his Cabinet of Curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps. Take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the lodge doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Braggy, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He's to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetherite Plaza. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit a major district of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Crystal clear.
It's fun.
Very good. I can see the layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twist and turn before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of the other stars, and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There is an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you'll finish making the rounds, pray meet me at the lodge courtyard in the center of the town. Until then, have a good nap. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? Not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer than here it is out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us in the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources, and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or kettle forged. Why is there an Allegan note in the background?
That's what I was wondering. I'm guessing they're trying to indicate that this place is way more technologically advanced than where we come from.
Maybe. Just thinking it'll be all handed to you on a plate like those Yomoran layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, can't quite pin down your profession. Where's it you're from? One of the Exos countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. I say you wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. Okay, so it wasn't always here. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. Well, I guess that explains that. The node is all probably from the Crystal Tower. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He's indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he, and you, wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you want to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Yay, crafting! Just ask for Catless and I'll find you a niche here in the crystalline mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Your exchange with Catless has taught you about life in the Crystarium. Excuse me, sir. I recently come to the city, perchance. I'm quite familiar with our civic rules, you see, and, well, What I mean to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll, even? A scrap of scribbled-on parchment? My apologies. Literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin at your service, and this humble collection is known as a Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manner of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to Cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Nope, just going around talking to people. Oh, so you have an interest in modern history. Splendid! A thorough review of the recent events can yield novel perspectives, I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment and I'll fetch it for you.
Fucking rude. Just, you look stupid. Let me get you the kids book.
And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair, make yourself more comfortable? On with the lesson then. A 100 years ago, or near enough to not matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the villains known as the Warrior of Light.
It makes sense given that this place is flooded with light that's, like, killing people, so I imagine light's bad here.
Maybe. Now, call me if I'm wrong, but weren't there, like, a conversation a while ago about, like, keeping dark and light in the balance? Like, maybe they just, like, threw off the balance? And they were branded villain?
I imagine so, but I'm also wondering if it's just slightly reverso here.
Maybe.
And so if we become the Great Warrior over here, are they going to call us the Warrior of Darkness?
Well,
you are a Dark Knight.
Well, yeah, but you have to remember that post Heavensward, there was those group of 5 guys calling themselves the Warriors of Darkness. Maybe that's also related? Well, they are related because they are from here.
Yeah. Or maybe they were the Warriors of Light, felt bad, and became the Warriors of Darkness. I don't know.
Maybe. Villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous, blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We call this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Yet just when it seemed all that would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light. She stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrandt, and Norvrandt alone spared the fate of erasure. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvrandt's sky. Even now they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I'd be glad to retell it for you. Or if you would rather I speak of other matters, that too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. Your exchange with Morn has taught you about the Flood of Light.
He's really lonely, poor guy.
Well, at least he has a lot of books to keep him company.
Doesn't help with loneliness.
It's okay, it doesn't help with mine either.
Oof.
You look like friends. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Welcome. My name is Braggy, and I'm the master of these markets. They gave me the distinct another official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it. Too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for humans such as yourself, so finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. Sorry, did you say Humes? Hey, something wrong? Oh, hey, it's an Almalja. Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a Hume, like you. The taller one is an elf. The sturdy individual over there is called a Galgant. Else the one with the horns is a Dron. Then you have the large, scaly chaps with the long tails and knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune. Okay, so they have all different names here. This is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Ah, same as the XIV then. That explains it. You don't get much farther flung than that. But a few of your lot passed through in recent years. And despite their obvious learning, they've floundered over the simplest things. I think those might be our friends that got kidnapped. Whose souls got kidnapped.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe some other people also got isekai'd into here.
Hope that makes things a lot easier.
But not to worry. If you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Your exchange with Bragi has taught you about the peoples of the First. So what do you call your Lalafels?
They don't allow potatoes here.
I'm sorry?
They don't allow potatoes here.
Oh no. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? A lot of questions unanswered, but yeah. Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. It's called exposition. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is in fact the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the First in its entirety. But we saw it when we were last there.
Yeah, that.
This is gonna be some
makes
time
sense.
travel shenanigans.
Maybe.
It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. Okay, so it was from a different time. Yeah. You've done well as I requested and learned something of the world in which you find yourself. Now it's time I fulfilled my half of the bargain and explain what has befallen your comrades. That is a conversation I would rather have in the privacy of my quarters. However, I must go on ahead to the tower and organize a few things, but I shall see that the god knows to admit you. Just like that? Then what happened to Gratia? I am not familiar with that name. Is this something I should know? Yeah, there was a guy named Gratia who sealed himself inside the Crystal Tower. Silence Haven't Dawn, Sons of St. Koinak. No? An extraordinary tale, but I'm afraid I found no such individual residing in the tower when it passed into my care. Mayhap we can revisit that mystery another time. For now, I think it best we focus on the present. Maybe this tower was ripped from the past then, before Grahatia sealed himself in the tower.
Wait, does that mean that we're gonna run into him later, as our timelines catch up?
Maybe. Like, that's what I'm thinking. He's probably going to be involved with the Crystal Towers here. I mean, they had us do the entire Crystal Tower storyline before finishing Realm Reborn, remember?
Yeah, I remember this.
So maybe we will run into him later.
But also, in Realm Reborn, I don't think they have the forward thinking.
Greetings, sir. Exarch awaits you within. Enter the Crystal Tower.
Welcome to the Ocular, my private study. We can speak here without fear of being overheard. I have much to explain, but the truths which I must touch upon in doing so would cause only distress and confusion to the people of this world. Pray keep that in mind. Now, I am sure you are desperate to know the fate of your fellow scions. To put it simply, they are here in the first.
Yay!
Their arrival, however, was not as recent as you may imagine.
Aww.
Here, time flows at a different pace from that of the source. In the space of a single hour in your home world, an entire year might pass in the first, and the reverse could also be true. The pace fluctuates without rhyme or reason, and it cannot be predicted. That said, we seem to be entering a period of near equivalence, and thus, for the moment, you need not overly concern yourself with the passage of time.
Good, I need to go back and water my gardens as well.
As for your companions, however, Yustola and Urianger have dwelled here for 3 winters, all told, while Thancred's count stands at 5. Even our more recent arrivals, Alphino and Alize, have lived in the first for almost a year.
But have they grown any?
My intention had been to summon only you, but the art of reaching across worlds has proven exceedingly difficult to master. Thus it was that my fumbling hand closed upon those to whom your fate is most closely bound as well. As they were not the object of my summons, their transference was incomplete. Though they may appear to possess corporeal bodies, they are, in truth, merely spirits that one can see and touch.
As opposed to us, who actually came with our corporeal bodies, I'm guessing. Also, this is the second time Thancred suddenly was summoned somewhere naked.
Consequently, while you yourself will be
Also,
able to pass between worlds with relative freedom,
like, really, after the first one, you were like, maybe we shouldn't continue this because I am dooming them to no bodies. Nah, let's keep going. Let's keep summoning them.
Maybe the situation is just that dire. Tancred's okay? Well, I'll take your word for it. Then what have they been doing all this time?
We spent every waking hour searching for a way to reverse the summoning. In the beginning, at least.
Is the answer that there
As
is
you
no
may
way
have
to reverse it?
surmised, however, our efforts met with little success. And then we all but abandoned the endeavor once Urianger shared with us the vision he had witnessed during his journey through the rift. In that chaotic no man's land between realms, time and space warp and blend in unexpected ways. What Urianger saw was the future. That which would one day come to pass. In his vision of tomorrow, the first was rejoined with the source.
Is that good?
This collision of worlds brought about the 8th umbral calamity and the deaths of countless multitudes.
Not good.
Amongst those who perished, Urianger clearly saw the fall of the Scion's mightiest champion. He watched you die.
Also not good.
And thus did the Scions embrace their exile, and began searching this world for a means to forestall the coming catastrophe in yours. Their souls are stranded in the first, yes, but they have fought on, desperate to save their home and you from destruction. Nor have their efforts been in vain, for it was they who finally established that the elimination of the Sin Eaters will indeed serve to prevent the calamity. Considering these circumstances of our meeting, you would be forgiven for doubting my version of events. And so, before all else, I would suggest you track down your comrades and hear the tale from their lips. I shall of course be happy to assist in these reunions, and you need not make any decisions regarding your involvement until you are certain of where you stand. Meanwhile, I promise I will not rest until I have found a way to help your friends return home. What say you? Have I earned your trust for the moment, at least?
For the moment.
I said, for want of a better choice, and he was still very,
will not regret this.
aw.
With that
Yep,
second,
same dialogue.
we shall have to see about getting you ready for the road. Traveling across the rift has no doubt left you weary. I will arrange for a room where you might rest in comfort. While it's being prepared, perhaps I can show you around.
The Crystarium boasts a number of residential districts, but I have seen informed that a room has just become available at Dependence. Which, as it turns out, is perfect. Our path there will take us past the markets, and I was hoping to give you my own introduction to their wares. Come along.
This is the Musica Universalis, the commercial heart of the Crystarium. What you might need to prepare for your journeys can be purchased here. Ah, yes. You must be curious about the currency. Fear not. The gil you carry will serve you well enough.
Oh, that's a relief.
Once minted its own coins, but 'twas all a jumbled mess following the flood. After much debate, the local merchants eventually elected to revert to the old ways, wherein a coin's
Yeah, I was
value
very
was decided by the worth of its metal.
confused about why it would be equivalent, but I guess that makes sense.
Hooray, expositions!
As for a unit of measurement, we agreed upon the term gil, a word borrowed from coins uncovered within the Crystal Tower here. And as our traders peddled their wares across the land, so too did our usage of gil become common practice. From what your stola tells me, a standard coin from the source equates to exactly 1 gil here, or near enough not to matter. Our way of life has benefited greatly from the artifacts we recovered from the tower, some of which may be familiar to you.
Ooh, tombstones.
I like her design.
Nobody can escape the
But I
smartphones.
fear it would not be practical for us to provide everything to which you are accustomed. You shall need a means to access the commodities of your homeworld. Avan Kerm Sin?
Yes, I'm here. Of course I'm here. What amusements do you have for me today?
What?
My dear Feo Ul,
Oh god.
paragon of pixie kind. For you, I have the most vital task. This fine gentleman is a friend from a distant realm,
Hello.
and we have need of a means to ferry things back and forth from his home.
See where the
Might
model
you
of
be
my
able
pixie
to
wings came
assist
from?
us in this matter?
You came from beyond, didn't you? From beyond the rift? How wonderfully exciting! What a brave and reckless and marvelous thing you did! You've the heart of a pixie, you do. After careful consideration, I have decided to grant you my assistance. Make a pact with me and the fun can begin. But answer me this, traveler. Did your garments come with you when you crossed over? Your teeth? Your nails?
Yep.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I unmuted your stream, and the male
Just as I
voice compared
thought.
to the
Then you've a good
absurdly
stout connection with
cutesy
your home,
Japanese
through which
girl
all your
voice.
belongings, great
Oh.
and small, may easily
Ah, yes, the
pass.
reverse Tataru.
Yeah.
From this moment forth, I will be your Isnefis, and you my Snayak. Like the branch which sprouts from the sapling, our bond will flow unbroken from one to the other.
I think I just entered into a warlock pact.
Raise your hand. Tis done. We are bound now, dearest sapling. Come then. Make your request. Tell me your desire. I wish to visit this world of yours.
Mayhap her message to your friends in the source to inform them of your safe arrival.
Send a message to... Probably,
Actually a hard one.
probably Tataru.
Yeah, I think
Consideration.
Bill is so cute, but Tataru is probably gonna actually tell them all.
Well, probably also that, and Tataru was also with us when we got yoinked.
Alright.
Plus, Kral's busy in
As you
Eureka.
heard, that was Feo Ul of the Pixies. Their kind possess an affinity for magic akin to that of arcane beings. They rarely show themselves in populated areas, but Feo is insatiably curious even by pixie standards, and seems to have taken a liking to the Crystarium. Right, we were going to organize a room for you, weren't we? Come along.
As a result of your pact with Feo Ul, you now have access to delivery Moogles, market boards, and summoning bells here in the First. Ah, there you are. I was just finalizing the matter of your accommodation. You'll have a private room here at the Pendants for the duration of your stay, to make use as you see fit. When you are ready to retire, the manager will show you to your lodgings. Pray rest and recuperate, and we shall reconvene in the ocular anon. I believe that covers all the practical concerns. Thank you for answering my call, Green. We are denied the comforting of blanket of night, but may peaceful dreams attend you nonetheless. Pleasure to meet you, sir, and welcome to your new home at the Pendants. Your room is ready. If you'd like to retire, retire to my quarters. Holy shit, a window you can actually open. You.
I know you. You're the warrior of light from the source.
Hello. The warrior of darkness.
What? Did you just... You can hear me?
Yes.
Oh, gods, how long has it been? That was what I called myself in your world. The warrior of darkness. My real name is Ardbert. I used an alias in the source, a daft one, looking back. If you recall my tale, it was my comrades and I who caused the flood. We thought
I
our
called
home
it.
doomed,
Yep.
and so we listened to the Ascians. Let them guide us to the source, and try to hasten their goddamned ardor. I remember when we fell, defeated by you and yours. I remember our audience with Minfilia, how she listened to our pleas and returned our souls to the first. The flood was poised to swallow Norvrandt, Minfilia and my friends. They surrendered what little they had left to hold it back. Just faded away, leaving me to bear witness. Tell me, do you know the year? How much time has passed since we caused the flood?
A lot.
100 years. 100 long years.
He just doesn't have collision on.
My hands find no purchase. My gestures catch no eye, and my pleas, be they whispered or screamed, reach not a single ear. I am a shade, cursed to do naught but drift. I feel as if I've been walking forever. I hardly noticed when my mind and body began to fray at the edges. Then bang! My senses were sharp again. I felt like a fish being reeled in, and before I knew it, I found myself in this room. Why is it that you can see me? What are you even doing here, come to that?
Well, first, I blame the echo, because that's probably the thing that explains everything when something weird happens.
Related to us, yes.
Yeah.
You were summoned to save the First. A waste of time. This world is beyond saving, like those who try to save it. Muddled as my mind may be, I've not forgotten that. But if fate has brought me to you, the one person in this God's forsaken world who can see and hear me, then perhaps there is a reason I endured. If I can find out why I was left behind, then maybe I can bring this journey of mine to an end. Well, I'll be watching, Warrior of Light. But do me a favor. Be careful out there. This world has had its fill of heroes.
Does that mean I have to be a villain, or...
I mean,
the expansion is titled Shadowbringers, so...
I think we're just going to become the Shadowbringer.
Yeah, probably.
The part where we shadowed all over the Shadowbringers. It's shadow time.
Well, now this joke has run its course.
Ah, how did you find your new quarters? I trust you were able to rest?
Nope. Had a ghostly visitor.
I was not aware the room was haunted, and you were rather tired. Well, should you receive another visitation, be sure to let me know. Now, let us return to the subject of the Scion's whereabouts. This map shows the lands of Norvrandt, the only area to be spared the flood of light. The Crystarium is here, in the region known as Lakeland. To the north is the fairy kingdom of Il-Meg. That is where you'll find Urianger. To the east lies the once prosperous civilization of Rak-Tika. Your Stola is stationed there, in the heart of the forest. Alas, neither location can be reached without considerable difficulty. As such, I would suggest you first seek out one of the twins, each of whom is stationed but a short flight from the Crystarium. Alphino is on Calusia, an island off the western shore. It is home to a city called Yulmore, where the
course
rich
it's where
and privileged
Alphinaud would
while
go.
away their days in idleness.
Why is that?
I mean, rich background and all. Used to hanging
Ah.
out permanent and luxury.
Ah, yes, aristocrats.
For his part in furthering our cause, Alphino journeyed there to meet with the citizenry and forge alliances. From what I hear, he has since kept himself busy gathering information around the main settlement. Alize, meanwhile, traveled south to the arid wastes of Armarang. They lie upon the very edge of the inhabitable world, where the flood of light was halted. Those who dwell there live in constant fear of attack by the Sin-Eaters. In contrast to her brother, Alize felt that her energies would better be spent learning about the enemy, and thus she sells her services as a guard, both to hone her skills and gather information on our foe.
Oh, hey. Thank you for the sub.
Calusia or Armarang? It matters not which you choose to visit first. Simply inform me once you've made your decision, and I will see to it that you are provided with a suitable mount. Ah, but you must be wondering about Thancred. He has taken up with a new companion, and is presently engaged as a wandering hunter of Sin-Eaters. Being ever on the move, his whereabouts are often difficult to ascertain, but I am certain
I'll be
your paths
right
won't
back.
cross ere long.
Okay.